Hello subscribers, this is yours truly JBlue68 coming to you with my next Star Wars prequel vintage starship review. That's a lot. And before we get into this video, I want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to this channel, for liking, sharing, and commenting. Please continue to do so and tap the notification bell so you can get more videos like this as I post them immediately. I have to be really careful when I use the word vintage. One of my subscribers did correct me when I did a video and I used the word vintage about a month or two ago when I did a video on the Queen Amidala's starship. There are classic vintage Star Wars toys. Those toys came out in between the 70s and the 80s, between 1977 and 1983 respectively, covering episodes 4, 5, and 6, which were Star Wars: A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And then there are the vintage prequel toys, which came out in the late 90s, covering episodes 1, 2, and 3, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. But then there were also, in between that time period, there were re-releases of the classic toys. And I actually did a video on one of them. That was a Millennium Falcon. You can make sure you check that video out. And that was a release that came out in 95. So I think it was between 83 and 99 were the classic re-releases during that era that were made by Kenner before they were bought out by Hasbro. Well, this particular ship is the Y-Wing fighter, and I believe this was produced by Hasbro. Hasbro, as I said, who had bought out Kenner. This ship measures about 2 feet. It's pretty big. And this is during the time that collecting Star Wars toys was really fun. And they came out with these massive ships, man. And I was privy and very honored to be able to get a lot of them. And I've been bringing them out lately because I just wish that they could make ships like this again, and they were affordable. As I mentioned in the previous video, HasLab has been making a lot of Star Wars ships lately, or I won't say a lot, but a couple anyway. I know the last one they did was a Ghost, but they are very expensive to buy. They're usually somewhere between $500 and $800 probably, or I'll just say 500 on up. But anyway, let's take a look at this ship. As you see, unfortunately I don't have the original box that it came in. And as you see the yellow paint on it, this ship was part of the Republic Navy, and is not as heavily armed, I should say, because it was during a time of made during a time of peace. It was kind of a peacetime starship, but it does have some weapons on it. You see on the front of this ship, it has the front turret guns. We're going to turn it around here. But it was actually supposed to be part of, although it's yellow in color, it's actually supposed to be part of what was considered to be a Gold Squadron. Let's turn the camera back around here. A Gold Squadron. And let's lift the camera up a little bit more so you can see the full length of the ship. And I have a pilot inside I'm going to show you in a moment. But I just want to show you the dynamics of this particular ship. Let's take a look. And unfortunately, let's take a look at the bottom of the ship. I don't have the droid that's supposed to be with this particular ship. As you can see, it has a landing gear that's movable. Okay, it's not electronic, but it does have some parts that are movable, or that you can actually move around on the ship. And what's cool about it right here, I love this. It has the Republic emblem on it right there, as you can see. Okay, and it does a couple of things, not very much. Let's open up the the cockpit here. The cockpit is a two-seater. You can put a pilot right here, as you see the pilot right there. And then there's also a pilot that goes here. But I had a hard time opening this up. A pilot that goes here that actually operates this particular gun turret. It doesn't rotate around, but the guns kind of move just slightly. And a droid actually belongs right here. This is a droid cockpit, but again, I don't have a droid for it. Here's the pilot right here, who actually matches the color of the ship. I think that's pretty sweet. This is a 3 3¼ inch scale clone trooper, and again part of Gold Squadron. Pretty neat there. Get that into focus. We can. Yeah. So here's the pilot that goes in the ship, and I just want to show you something else. Let's close that back up. Let's see. And again, yeah, these ships were made during what I consider to be peacetime, but it does something else that's really cool. And these ships were seen in both Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated series, and in Star Wars Rebels. Let's see. Yeah, so you can push that little button there, and then you have the these gun turrets right here, or missile launchers. Very, very cool. It does some other things, but I don't know what, because there's some other buttons right here. So yeah, very, very nice. I'm glad to still have this in my Star Wars collection. So this is vintage prequel stuff, not classic vintage, of course, because of course classic vintage is, as I mentioned, Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6. Okay, let's see if we can get this back down. Like these okay, there we go. All right, had to lock that back in place. There we go. All right. So eventually though, these ships were scrapped when the Empire came into power and decommissioned. But later on, when the Rebel Alliance formed, and they were trying to form and construct their own fleet of ships, they recovered a lot of the old Y-wing fighters, and the ships were stripped down, and they looked like this. And this is what you're used to seeing them look like. This is actually by Hallmark right here. But this is what they eventually looked like, and these ships were used during what was called the Galactic Civil War. First seen in Episode 4, Star Wars: A New Hope. And this is part of a Gold Fleet still. You see, you still have the yellow markings on the ship. But yeah, so this is eventually what became of these particular starships or starfighters. So that's it. That's all. I just wanted to do a quick video again on some of my Star Wars spaceships that I have in my collection. As you can see, it's still in fairly good condition, even though I don't have the original box for it. It's a pretty awesome, like I said, a starship or a starfighter. And again, I'm glad to have it in my collection. So anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this review. I hope that eventually, they will start another line like this. But hey, man, this thing is like 2 feet long, and you've seen the other. If you've seen the other videos I've made when they were making ships like that, they're pretty big. They're pretty big, and they take up a lot of space. So that's the only thing too. You'd have to have the space to actually, purchase ships like this. So. All right. Okay, enough of my ranting. So I hope that you've enjoyed this review. Star Wars Vintage Prequel Y-Wing Fighter. Thank you all for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you can get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Peace, love, and hair grease.